One of the most in vogue rigs at the moment is the Ronnie Rig. Now, the Ronnie Rig is a kind of take on the 360, which is one of the better pop-up presentations. The 360 rig has its downsides in that it's not as safe as you'd like it to be, and there is a question of whether it does create a bit of mouth damage. The Ronnie Rig kind of captures all the main points of the 360 but negates all the negatives. So what we wanted to do, or what I wanted to do, was fish the Ronnie Rig, and a friend of mine showed me a much simpler and easier way to tie it up. And it also allows the pop-up to be fished much closer to the bottom. In fact, the difference between my Ronnie Rig, we've nicknamed it the Reggie Rig because it's the kind of the more saner side of the twins. The Ronnie Rig, as I said, will fish a pop-up about 1.5 centimeters higher in the water than my version. I would always advise tying this one up at home. If you've got a couple of hours spare, you can knock a load of them up and have them ready to go. It's quite a simple process, but having everything to hand is always going to be easier. So I'm going to get into showing you the differences of my rig and the actual Ronnie Rig, and also I'm going to show you how to very easily tie my one up. Okay, I've got two I'm going to call them Ronnie Rigs for the sake of this, even though we have nicknamed this the Reggie Rig. I've got two Ronnie Rigs here, and basically what you need, the components that you're going to need are a size 11 swivel with a ring on the end. This is for my version now. You're going to need a size 4 curved hook, and then you're going to need a bait screw, and obviously then a little stop that slides over the hook and will stop the bait screw from moving any further. So looking at the two of the rigs here, one is tied up as per the original with an actual quick link on a swivel, and then there's my version, and it's really obvious that my version is much lower than the original. The reason why I prefer it to the actual original rig, my version actually fishes the pop-up closer to the bottom. So if I'm fishing on hard bottom, I prefer the pop-up to be looking more like a natural free bait, which would be also sitting kind of flush to the bottom. Whereas if I was going to go into a little bit of weed, where it was a bit choddy, I probably would maybe opt for the other one with the quick link to give me that extra little bit of height. Mechanics are pretty much the same. Obviously, with my version here, there's less metal work, and with less metal work means that you might need a little bit more putty for it to balance the pop-up. So I'm going to show you exactly how you tie up. Now, this may look a little bit fiddly at first, but once you do it once, it's really simple and can be actually easier than the clip, because the clips can be a bit hard getting the eye of the hook on. So we're going to get into tying this up now, and I'm going to show you the components. Well, this one's going to be a little bit long-winded because this is the most important bit. We're attaching the hook to the swivel via some braid, and we need to use the strongest braid we can to make sure it doesn't give. Now, I've tested these to destruction, so this won't give at all. Now, what I'm using is the Christon Jackal in 30 pound, and I'm stripping the coating off and then using the underneath braid. The reason why I'm using that is because it's Spectre fibres in that rather than Dyneema, and it's stronger. So what we're going to do is we're just going to strip off some coating. Now comes the fiddly bit. We're going to go through the eye of the swivel, and we're going to turn the point of the hook to face the actual swivel itself. Now, so they're going to actually sit together like that, with the actual swivel sitting inside. And then what we're going to do is we're going to then double back and go through again. Okay, so we've gone through twice, and now it's a simple overhand knot. pulled tight. Now, these must be pulled really, really tight for this to work. And what we're going to do is we're going to do 4 overhand knots. Very simple. And you're pulling tight every single time. As tight as you can. Once that's done, just going to nip off and leave a small little tag. And then we're going to blob with a lighter. And that's the rig nearly done. So what you need to do is you need to test that and make sure that that's not going to give. So when you're testing, now I'm actually bending that hook now, that's not going to give on a fish. And that is your rig done nearly to completion. All you need now is a small bit of shrink tube to sit down over that onto the barrel of the actual swivel, a bait screw and a bait screw stop, and the job is OXO.